Hi, and welcome to Anime Devoted Channel. In today's video we will be breaking down the top 25 best anime series of all time. While watching, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and hit the bell to get updates about new videos. Anime is a great way for creators to let go of their imagination without limits. Every anime has a story behind it, and it can be about one character or multiple. Picking just 25 titles for this list of the best anime was difficult, but we could come up with the top titles. Taking into consideration the mark left on culture and the influence on the industry and genre. Let's get started. 25. Haikyuu is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Haruchi Furude. It was serialized in Shueisha's shonen manga magazine Weekly Shonen Jump from February 2012 to July 2020, with its chapters collected in 45 tankobon volumes. The story follows Shoyo Hinata, a boy determined to become a great volleyball player despite his small stature. Junior high school student Shoyo Hinata becomes obsessed with volleyball after catching a glimpse of Karasuno High School playing in nationals on TV. Of short stature himself, Hinata is inspired by a player who commentators nicknamed the Little Giant, Karasuno's short but talented wing spiker. Though inexperienced, Hinata is athletic and has an impressive vertical jump. He joins his school's volleyball club, only to find he is its sole member, forcing him to spend the next 2 years trying to convince other students to help him practice. In the third and final year of junior high, some of Hinata's friends agree to join the club so he can compete in a tournament. In his first official game ever, they suffer a crushing defeat to the team favored to win the tournament that included third-year Tobio Kageyama, a prodigy setter nicknamed the King of the Court for both his skill and his brutal playstyle. The two spark a short rivalry, and after the game, Hinata vows to defeat Kageyama in high school. There are not many sports anime that can knock it out of the park in almost every way, but Haikyuu manages to do that and succeeds in creating an amazing sports team formula that other similar series should strive for. 24. Dragoon is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Yasuhiro Naito. Dragoon was first serialized in Takuma Shoten's shonen manga magazine Monthly Shonen Captain from April 1995 to January 1997. When the magazine ceased its publication, its chapters were collected in 3 tankobon volumes. The series continued its publication in Shonen Gahosha's seinen manga magazine Young King Hours, under the title Dragoon Maximum, from October 1997 to March 2007. Shonen Gahosha republished the Dragoon chapters in 2 volumes, and collected the Dragoon Maximum chapters in 14 volumes. Set on the fictional planet known as No Man's Land, the plot follows Vash the Stampede, a famous gunman who is constantly fighting bounty hunters seeking to obtain the immense bounty on his head. As the narrative progresses, Vash's past is explored. Dragoon originated from Night Owl's fascination with Western movies. Naito wanted Vash to be different from cowboys in Western movies by avoiding killing enemies and instead exploring the characters involved in each story arc. Dragoon was adapted into a 26-episode anime television series by Madhouse. It aired on TV Tokyo from April to September 1998. An anime feature film, Dragoon: Badlands Rumble, premiered in Japan in April 2010. What makes Dragoon truly stand out are the unique stylistic character and weapon designs, as well as the twisting plot that you understand more and more on every rewatch. The series returns in Dragoon Stampede in 2023. 23. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is a Japanese anime television series produced by Toei Animation. Part of the Dragon Ball media franchise, it is the sequel to the 1986 Dragon Ball anime series and adapts the latter 325 chapters of the original Dragon Ball manga series created by Akira Toriyama, which ran in Weekly Shonen Jump from 1988 to 1995. The series aired in Japan on Fuji TV from April 1989 to January 1996 and was later dubbed for broadcast in at least 81 countries worldwide. Dragon Ball Z picks up 5 years after the end of the Dragon Ball anime, with Goku now a young adult and father to his son, Gohan. A humanoid alien named Raditz arrives on Earth in a spacecraft and tracks down Goku, revealing to him that he is his long-lost older brother and that they are members of a near-extinct alien warrior race called the Scions, Saiyajin. The Scions had sent Goku, originally named Kakarado, to Earth as an infant to conquer the planet for them, but he suffered a severe blow to the head shortly after his arrival and lost all memory of his mission, as well as his bloodthirsty Scion nature. Raditz, along with 2 elites, Vegeta and Nappa, are the only remaining Scion warriors, so Raditz comes to enlist Goku's help in conquering frontier worlds. When Goku refuses to join them, Raditz takes Goku and Krillin down with one strike, kidnaps Gohan, and threatens to murder him if Goku doesn't kill 100 humans within the next 24 hours. Goku decides to team up with his archenemy Piccolo, who was also defeated by Raditz in an earlier encounter, to defeat him and save his son. During the battle, Gohan's rage momentarily makes him stronger than Piccolo and Goku as he attacks Raditz to protect his father. The battle ends with Goku restraining Raditz so that Piccolo can hit them with a deadly move called Special Beam Cannon, Makankasapo, lit. Demon penetrating, killing Ray Gun, mortally wounding them both, and kills them after a short while. But before Raditz succumbs to his injuries, he reveals to Piccolo that the other 2 Scions are much stronger than him and will come for the Dragon Balls in 1 year. How can you not have fun with a martial arts fantasy where most of the characters are strong enough to shatter planets with their bare hands? 22. My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia, Japanese, Hepburn, Boku no Hero Academia, is a Japanese superhero manga series written and illustrated by Kohei Horikoshi. It has been serialized in Shueisha's shonen manga magazine Weekly Shonen Jump since July 2014, with its chapters additionally collected into 36 tankobon volumes as of October 2022. Set in a world where superpowers, called quirks, have become commonplace, the story follows Izuku Midoriya, a boy who was born without a quirk but still dreams of becoming a superhero himself. He is scouted by All Might, Japan's greatest hero, who bestows his quirk to Midoriya after recognizing his potential and helps to enroll him in a prestigious high school for superheroes in training. The story of My Hero Academia is set in a world where currently most of the human population has gained the ability to develop superpowers called quirks, kozii, which occur in children within the age of 4. It is estimated that around 80% of the world population has a quirk. There are an endless number of quirks, and it is extremely unlikely to find 2 people who have the exact same power unless they are closely related. Among the quirk-enhanced individuals, a few of them earn the title of heroes, who cooperate with the authorities in rescue operations and apprehending criminals who abuse their powers, commonly known as villains. In addition, heroes who excel on their duties gain celebrity status and are recognized as pro-heroes, Poro-hero. Most heroes are popular based on their rankings, with higher-ranking heroes receiving more popularity and public appeal, although it isn't uncommon for rookie heroes to gain such popularity as well. Between its stunning animation, a lovable roster of well-developed supporting characters, and talent for coming up with some of the most ridiculous and unique superpowers ever committed to the screen, My Hero Academia is a breath of fresh air, frequently silly, often sweet, and consistently surprising. 21. Made in Abyss. The Abyss, a gaping chasm stretching down into the depths of the earth, filled with mysterious creatures and relics from a time long past. How did it come to be? What lies at the bottom? Countless brave individuals, known as divers, have sought to solve these mysteries of the abyss, fearlessly descending into its darkest realms. The best and bravest of the divers, the White Whistles, are hailed as legends by those who remain on the surface. Riko, daughter of the missing White Whistle Liza the Annihilator, aspires to become like her mother and explore the furthest reaches of the abyss. However, just a novice Red Whistle herself, she is only permitted to roam its upper layer. Even so, Riko has a chance encounter with a mysterious robot with the appearance of an ordinary young boy. She comes to name him Reg, and he has no recollection of the events preceding his discovery. Certain that the technology to create Reg must come from deep within the abyss, the two decide to venture forth into the chasm to recover his memories and see the bottom of the great pit with their own eyes. However, they know not of the harsh reality that is the true existence of the abyss.
In the abyss,
The enormous cave system, known as the abyss, is the only unexplored place in the world.
for all living
Nobody
creatures
knows how
stands
far
the
down
shape
this
to
titanic pit
eventuality.
goes, inhabited by
Death is the
strange and
equalizer.
wondrous creatures
It is
and
an
full of
absolute
mysterious
truth.
ancient relics
It
whose
is
purpose
always
is
leading
unknown to
just
modern
within
man.
each of us.
Generations of bold
People make the
adventurers
best
have been
use of
drawn
their
by
wits
the
and
cryptic
courage.
depths of the abyss.
Struggling,
Over time, those bold enough to
cling
explore
to
the
life
dangerous
until the
pit
very
came to be
end.
known as cave
And
raiders.
soon we realize
In Orth, the town at the edge of the abyss, there lives a little orphan named Riko, who dreams of becoming as great a cave raider as her mother was in solving the great mystery of the pit. One day, exploring the murky depths, she stumbles upon a little boy, who turns out to be a robot.
come here.
The longer the story goes on, the more fantastical and depraved it gets, much like the titular abyss itself. Everything from the impressive creature design, the mystery of it, and the hopeful characters keeps you on the edge of your seat. Though it looks cute and sweet at the outset, Made in Abyss deserves all the content warnings it gets, and is not for the faint of heart. 20. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The universe of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a reflection of the real world with the added existence of supernatural forces and beings. In this setting, some people are capable of transforming their inner spiritual power into a stand, Sutando. Another significant form of energy is Hammon, Ripple, a martial arts technique that allows its user to focus bodily energy into sunlight via controlled breathing. The narrative of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is split into parts with independent stories and different characters. Each of the series' protagonists is a member of the Joestar family, whose mainline descendants possess a star-shaped birthmark above their left shoulder blade and a name that can be abbreviated to the titular JoJo. The first 6 parts take place within a single continuity whose generational conflict stems from the rivalry between Jonathan Joestar and Dio Brando, while the latter 2 parts take place in an alternate universe where the Joestar family tree is heavily altered. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is full of amazing action, wild characters, and iconic moments that will live on through the anime community and memes. 19. Naruto Shippuden. Naruto was born on the night of October 10th to Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage, and Kushina Uzumaki, the 2nd Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. He was named after Naruto Musasabi, the protagonist of Jiraiya's first book, which made the Sannin his godfather. 14. The 3rd Hokage made special arrangements for Minato to preserve Kushina's seal containing the Nine Tails while she gave birth to Naruto in a remote location, assisted by midwives and Umbu. A masked man, Tobi, tracked down their location, however, killed the midwives and Umbu, and captured Naruto, forcing Minato to quickly rescue him and teleport him to a safe house. With Minato gone, Tobi captured Kushina and released the Nine Tails from her, using it to devastate Konoha. Minato saved Kushina and left Naruto in her care before he went to protect the village, eventually defeating Tobi and freeing the Nine Tails from Tobi's control. Returning to Naruto and Kushina's location, Minato realized the only way to stop the Nine Tails was to seal it within Naruto, believing that his son would someday need the fox's power to defeat Tobi when he returned. Since the Nine Tails chakra was too immense to be sealed into an infant, Minato sacrificed his soul to split the fox's chakra in half, sealing the yin half within himself and the yang half within Naruto. After telling Naruto how much they loved him, Minato and Kushina succumbed to their wounds from protecting their son from the Nine Tails and passed away. The Naruto anime series is known for its memorable characters and relationships, and it continues to be one of the biggest shonen anime ever, even long after it has ended. 18. Death Note. In Tokyo, a disaffected high school student named Light Yagami finds the Death Note, a mysterious black notebook that can kill anyone as long as the user knows both the target's name and face. Initially terrified of its godlike power, Light considers the possibilities of the Death Note's abilities and kills high-profile Japanese criminals, then targets international criminals. 5 days after discovering the notebook, Light is visited by Ryuk, a Shinigami and the Death Note's previous owner. Ryuk, invisible to anyone who has not touched the notebook, reveals that he dropped the notebook into the human world out of boredom and is amused by Light's actions. As criminals around the world die from inexplicable accidents and heart attacks, the global media suggests that a single mastermind is responsible for the mysterious murders and name him Kira, the Japanese transliteration of the word killer. Hoping to apprehend Kira, Interpol requests the assistance of an enigmatic consulting detective, known as L, to assist in their investigation. Deducing that Kira is based in Japan, L tricks Light into revealing that he is in the Kanto region of Japan by manipulating him to kill a decoy. Furious, Light vows to kill L, whom he views as obstructing his plans. L deduces that Kira has inside knowledge of the Japanese police investigation, being led by Light's father, Soichiro Yagami. Under the suspicion that Kira could have family ties with members of the Kira investigation, L assigns a team of FBI agents to monitor the families of those connected with the investigation, and L learns enough to designate Light as the prime suspect. Around this time, Light graduates from high school to college. L recruits Light into the Kira task force, with each trying to get the other to reveal crucial information. This show has gone on to inspire many other dark protagonist shonen anime, as well as many live-action adaptations, which rightfully earns its place as one of the best and most influential anime of all time. 17. Attack on Titan. Eren Yeager is a boy who lives in the town of Shiganshina, located on the outermost of 3 circular walls protecting their inhabitants from Titans. In the year 845, the first wall, Wall Maria, is breached by 2 new types of Titans, the Colossal Titan and the Armored Titan. During the incident, Eren's mother is eaten by a smiling Titan while Eren escapes. He swears revenge on all Titans and enlists in the military along with his adopted sister Mikasa Ackerman and his best friend Armin Arler. 5 years after Shiganshina's fall, the Colossal Titan attacks the city of Trost, located on the second innermost wall, Wall Rose. Eren helps to successfully defend the city after he discovers a mysterious ability to turn himself into a sentient attack titan. Additionally, he regains memories of his father giving him this ability shortly after the fall of Wall Maria and telling him that the truth about their world can be found in their basement in Shiganshina. These events draw the attention of the Survey Corps and their commander, Rowan Smith, who intends to use his power to reclaim Wall Maria and reach the Jaeger's basement. Eren, Mikasa, and Armin are transferred to the Special Operations Squad, under the care of Captain Levi Ackerman and Hang Zoe. What started as a typical shonen anime evolved into an amazing piece of art tackling themes of war, classism/racism, among other heavy topics. It's hard to find anyone who has not felt the impact of this show, with director Alex Garland even calling out the series as a source of inspiration. A mixture of high-intensity action, slow character-driven scenes, and Game of Thrones-esque deaths that come out of nowhere culminate into one of the greatest anime to emerge from the modern age. 16. Ouran High School Host Club. Ouran Academy is an elite upper school catering to the ultra-rich. Haruhi Fujioka is a middle-class scholarship student, a rarity at the school. While searching for a quiet place to study, she stumbles upon an unused music room which turns out to be the club room for the Ouran Host Club, a group of idle rich boys, possessing exceptional good looks, who entertain female clients. After accidentally knocking over a priceless Renaissance vase that's worth far more than Haruhi can repay, 8 million yen, she is forced to join the host club as an errand boy to work off her debt. Soon after, however, Haruhi proves to be a natural host, no training needed, and is promoted to full status as a host of the Ouran Host Club. It then becomes clear that something isn't quite as it seems. Ouran High School Host Club is a sweet and silly satire on the idea of otaku culture, and it's also one of the trailblazers in fujoshi comedy. 15. Devilman Crybaby. High school student Akira Fudo lives with his only friend and longtime crush Miki Makimura, her brother Taro, and her parents Noel and Akiko. When Akira attempts to defend Miki from a gang led by rapper Wamu, he is rescued by his childhood friend Ryo Asaka. Ryo tells Akira that his recent expedition to the Amazon rainforest revealed the existence of demons, but that the world's governments are suppressing this information. Planning to expose the demons, Ryo takes Akira to an underground nightclub. He attacks its patrons with a broken bottle, causing demons to appear. Ryo films the demons massacring the humans, but is attacked and pinned by a demon. Akira's will overpowers Amon, a powerful demon who tries to possess him, transforming him into Amon's demon form and allowing him to slaughter the demons. This loose interpretation of the biblical apocalypse Devilman Crybaby is a profoundly modern take on the Book of Revelation, is a study of love, sacrifice, and God's love, or disdain, for humanity. The modern lens helps the biblical punches find their way into contemporary guts. And thanks to the gorgeous style, banging Japanese hip-hop, and a cast of memorable characters, you don't mind the pain. 14. Demon Slayer. Tanjiro Kamado is a kind-hearted and intelligent boy who lives with his family in the mountains. He became his family's breadwinner after his father's death, making trips to the nearby village to sell charcoal. Everything changed when he came home one day to discover that his family was attacked and slaughtered by a demon. Tanjiro and his sister Nezuko were the sole survivors of the incident, with Nezuko being transformed into a demon, but still surprisingly showing signs of human emotion and thought. After an encounter with Ju Tomioka, the water Hashira of the Demon Slayer Corps, Tanjiro is recruited by Ju and sent to his retired master Sakanji Urokodaki for training to also become a Demon Slayer, beginning his quest to help his sister turn into a human again and avenge the death of his family. Every single episode of Demon Slayer is consistently impressive with smooth animation that never compromises its gorgeous art, incredible visual effects that bring the spectacular battles to life, and an amazing soundtrack that punctuates its many emotional high points. Not only that, Demon Slayer will make you laugh out loud thanks to the over-the-top absurdity of characters like Zenitsu and Inasu, and it'll just as easily make you tear up with its heavy themes of loss and family. 13. Code Geass, Lelich of the Rebellion. Before the start of the main events, the 11th Prince of Britannia, Lelich VI Britannia, and his sister, Princess Nunnally VI Britannia lived with their strict father, Emperor Charles Z Britannia, and their mother in the capital city of the Holy Britannian Empire, Pendragon. When Lelich was 10 and Nunnally was 6, their mother was mysteriously and brutally shot to death. Ultimately, Nunnally was caught in the crossfire and could no longer walk, and was blinded by the trauma of seeing her mother murdered. Lelich became angry that his father did nothing to solve the murder and renounced his anointment to the throne, and he and his sister were thereof placed in the care of the Kururoji Shrine, in Japan. During this time, Suzaku Kururoji became friends with Lelich, but they were separated from each other because of the Second Pacific War, which, with Britannia's introduction of fighting machines called Nightmare Frames into battle, ended Japan's existence in 2010 in the given calendar. The conquered nation's name became Area 11 as a mocking gesture to the month-long defeat of the nation. Later they were taken in by the Ashford Academy, run by the Ashford Foundation, for which their mother was a test pilot. They were given a maid, Sayoko Shinozaki, to assist with the care of Nunnally, and they lived in hiding for years, using the false last name Lamperouge. The show, with political subterfuge, enticing mythology, and fascinating characters, has gone down as one of the great mecha anime of all time. 12. Samurai Champloo. Samurai Champloo opens in a town where Fu, working as a tea waitress, is molested by the son of the town's corrupt prefect. The outlaw Mugen arrives in town, and Fu begs him for protection, which he gives in exchange for food. Meanwhile, the Ronin Jean, also a new arrival, kills the prefect's bodyguards when they abuse a peasant, ending up in conflict with Mugen when the latter mistakes him for one of the prefect's men. The two's fight ends up destroying the tea house. The pair are captured and sentenced to death, but Fu saves them. The pair attempt to restart their battle, but Fu tosses a coin, saying if it lands on heads then the pair can continue their battle, but if it lands on tails they postpone their battle to help her find a samurai who smells of sunflowers, whom she has sought for years. She wins the toss, and they embark on a series of adventures alongside Fu's quest. Samurai Champloo, like Cowboy Bebop before it, was mostly episodic, and while its overarching story isn't anything to write home about, the individual arcs of each of its three main characters were engrossing to follow, with equal amounts of emotionally resonant story beats and literal off-the-wall action. 11. Baccano. Aboard the ship Advena Avis in 1711, a group of alchemists summons a demon in the hopes of gaining eternal life. The demon gives them an elixir of immortality and the method of ending their existence by devouring one another, and grants the summoner Misa Avaro the formula of the elixir. Misa and most of the alchemists decide that no one else must become immortal, only Scoured Quates opposes. That night, the alchemists begin to disappear, devoured by Scoured. Realizing the threat posed by staying together, they scatter across the globe. In New York City in November 1930, Scoured succeeds in recreating the elixir, only to have it stolen by young thug Dallas Genord. The elixir continually moves around the city because of Dallas, with the three mafiosi Gondare brothers, the two idiotic thieves Isaac Dien and Miria Harvent, and Misa's protege Firo Procanizo and their Camorra family, the Martillo, all passing it around. Scoured makes Dallas an incomplete immortal, meaning he still ages, to retrieve the elixir. However, all other parties accidentally consume the elixir, mistaking it for alcohol at a party for Firo. Firo falls in love with Scoured's immortal homunculus Ennis, who betrays Scoured by telling Firo how to devour Scoured, which he does. The Gondare then cement Dallas to a barrel at the bottom of the Hudson River to punish him for killing Gondare members. Baccano unfolds like a puzzle, with almost every episode providing you with a new revelation that flips the way you've viewed things thus far. And even beyond all of that, it also has one of the best dubs you'll ever hear. 10. Flcl. Flcl is a coming-of-age story centering around Naota Nandiba, a 12-year-old, working-class boy living with his widowed father and grandfather. His life in the city of Mabase is interrupted by the arrival of Haruko Haruhara, who runs over Naota with her yellow Vespa 180 SS scooter, gives him CPR, then hits him on the head with a blue vintage Rickenbacker 4001 left-handed. Naota discovers that the blow to his head created an NO portal, from which giant robots produced by a company known as Medical Mechanica emerge periodically. Naota soon finds Haruko working in his house as a live-in maid. It is later discovered that Haruko is an investigator for the Galactic Space Police Brotherhood. Haruko uses Naota in her search for the Pirate King, Atomsk. She is at odds with Medical Mechanica, a monolithic industrial corporation. Naota is being watched by Commander Amaro, a special agent of the Bureau of Interstellar Immigration, who believes that Medical Mechanica is out to conquer the galaxy. Naota is ultimately drawn into a three-way battle between Haruko, Amaro, and Medical Mechanica. The surreal tone, the incredible soundtrack, and the experimental animation style all serve to make Flcl a wholly unique and unforgettable anime experience. 9. Yu Hakusho. Yusuke Urameshi is a street-brawling delinquent with a tough guy approach to everything. Atsuko Urameshi, an alcoholic, gave birth to him at the age of 14 and took a back seat in raising her son. He has a reserved seat in the guidance counselor's office, and numerous other delinquents in the city are constantly trying to take him on. To put things short, Yusuke is pretty fed up with his life. However, no one expects a sudden act of heroism on his part. He dies trying to save a little boy from a speeding car. When he arrives in the afterlife, he is informed that the child would have miraculously survived, and had it not been for him the child would have one less scratch on his right arm. His act of heroism, therefore, was the complete and utter waste. Yusuke's premature death was unexpected and unnecessary, and the afterlife was not prepared for his arrival. After numerous tests to gauge his worth, Yusuke is eventually revived and is assigned to work for the spirit world as a detective investigating demon cases in the human world. He comes into spiritual abilities of his own and enlists the help of numerous friends from Spirit World, Demon World, and Human World to aid him in his cases as they fight off demons and humans seeking to rule over all three worlds. This series stands shoulder to shoulder with Dragon Ball Z as one of the most influential action anime of the 90s. 8. Neon Genesis Evangelion. In 2015, 15 years after a global cataclysm known as the Second Impact, teenager Shinji Ikari is summoned to the futuristic city of Tokyo 3 by his estranged father Gendo Ikari, director of the Special Paramilitary Force NERV. Shinji witnesses United Nations forces battling an angel, one of a race of giant monstrous beings whose awakening was foretold by the Dead Sea Scrolls. Because of the angel's near-impenetrable force fields, NERV's giant Evangelion biomachines, synchronized to the nervous systems of their pilots and possessing their force fields, are the only weapons capable of keeping the angels from annihilating humanity. NERV officer Misato Katsuragi escorts Shinji into the NERV complex beneath the city, where his father pressures him into piloting the Evangelion Unit 01 against the angel. Without training, Shinji is quickly overwhelmed in the battle, causing the Evangelion to go berserk and savagely kill the angel on its own. Even with countless movie and series sequels and reimaginings, nothing touches the masterwork of Neon Genesis Evangelion's first run, which remains a fan favorite and showcases how a singular auteur approach to storytelling can create art that continues to resonate for generations. 7. Hunter vs. Hunter. A hunter is one who travels the world doing all sorts of dangerous tasks. From capturing criminals to searching deep within uncharted lands for any lost treasures. Gon is a young boy whose father disappeared long ago, being a hunter. He believes if he could also follow his father's path, he could one day reunite with him. After becoming 12, Gon leaves his home and takes on the task of entering the hunter exam, notorious for its low success rate and high probability of death, to become an official hunter. He befriends the revenge-driven Kurapika, the doctor-to-be Leorio, and the rebellious ex-assassin Killua in the exam, with their friendship prevailing throughout the many trials and threats they come upon taking on the dangerous career of a hunter. It sounds mundane and almost cheery, but Hunter x Hunter is anything but. The emotional highs and lows and the arcs of both the protagonists and antagonists are some of the best. As with most shonen, the dramatic action is fantastic, too. 6. Mob Psycho 100. Mob Psycho 100 is the story of a young middle schooler, Shigeo Kageyama, nicknamed Mob, living in Seasoning City. Ever since he was young, he has had astounding psychic powers. However, this Esper power is unable to grant him the one thing he wishes for the most, to be friends with the girl he likes in his class. This series thrives on the strength of its humor, its small but memorable cast of characters, and its dynamic visual style. 5. Hajime no Ippo. Ippo Makinuchi was an extremely shy high school student, unable to make friends due to always being busy helping his mother run their family fishing charter business. Because he kept to himself, a group of bullies led by Umazawa got into the habit of picking on him. One day, when these bullies gave him a rather serious beating, a middleweight professional boxer who was passing by stopped him and took the injured Ippo to the Kamogawa gym, Kamogawa Bokushinga Jimu, owned by retired boxer Genji Kamogawa, to treat his wounds. After Ippo awoke to the sounds of boxer's training, the boxer who saved him, Mamoru Takamura, tried to cheer Ippo up by letting him vent his frustrations on a sandbag. It was then that they had their first glimpse into Ippo's talent for boxing. After that incident, Ippo gave the situation a lot of thought and decided that he would like to begin a career as a professional boxer. When he conveys this message to Mamoru Takamura, he gets verbally reprimanded. Takamura thought Ippo was taking professional boxing too lightly. However, Takamura felt that he couldn't outright refuse Ippo, especially since his feat of punching the sandbag was much harder than anybody else in the gym, except for Takamura. Therefore, he challenges Ippo to catch 10 falling leaves from a tree simultaneously after a week of training. Fully convinced that Ippo would fail, Takamura jogs away as he continues his road work. What makes this series shine is the way it strives to flesh out both sides of any given matchup. Ippo doesn't just train to be the best, but to understand and connect with his opponents. That alone is enough to set this series apart. 4. Monster. Dr. Kenzo Tenma is a young Japanese doctor who's working at Isla Memorial Hospital in Dusseldorf in 1986. An accomplished brain surgeon, he seems to have everything: a promotion in the offing, the favor of the hospital's director, Udo Heinemann, and Heinemann's daughter Eva as his fiancée. However, Tenma is increasingly dissatisfied with the political bias of the hospital in treating patients and seizes the chance to change things after a massacre brings fraternal twins Johann and Anna Liebert into the hospital. Can't make a better anime like this. I like Monster just because it's a psychological anime, mystery, suspense, and thriller all combined in one anime, and the best part, both the main character Johann and Tenma leave an impact on the anime world. Monster is quite simply one of the best stories ever told in anime/manga form, but more than that, it's a special anime because of how different it is from everything else. In a medium dominated by giant robots, superpowered heroes that shoot beams out of their hands, and virtual fantasy worlds, Monster is refreshingly grounded in reality. It's a dark, mature, gritty thriller about a good man who loses everything after doing what he believed to be the right thing, and the dark descent that he must endure in order to correct his mistake. 3. One Piece. The series focuses on Monkey D. Luffy, a young man made of rubber, who, inspired by his childhood idol, the powerful pirate red-haired Shanks, sets off on a journey from the East Blue Sea to find the mythical treasure, the One Piece, and proclaim himself the king of the pirates. To organize his crew, the Straw Hat Pirates, Luffy rescues and befriends a pirate hunter and swordsman named Roronoa Zoro, and they head off in search of the titular treasure. They are joined in their journey by Nami, a money-obsessed thief and navigator, Usopp, a sniper and compulsive liar, and Sanji, an amorous but chivalrous cook. They acquire a ship, the Going Merry, and engage in confrontations with notorious pirates of the East Blue. As Luffy and his crew set out on their adventures, others join the crew later in the series, including Tony Chopper, an anthropomorphized reindeer doctor, Nico Robin, an archaeologist, and former Baroque Works assassin, Frankie, a cyborg shipwright, Brook, a skeleton musician and swordsman, and Jimbei, a fishman helmsman and former member of the Seven Warlords of the Sea. Once the Going Merry is damaged beyond repair, Frankie builds the Straw Hat Pirates a new ship, the Thousand Sunny. Together, they encounter other pirates, bounty hunters, criminal organizations, revolutionaries, secret agents, and soldiers of the corrupt world government, and various other friends and foes, as they sail the seas in pursuit of their dreams. It's through Oda's vision that the series has had such a lasting impact on viewers throughout the years, and it doesn't look to be slowing down anytime soon. 2. Cowboy Bebop. In 2071, roughly 50 years after an accident with a hyperspace gateway that made Earth almost uninhabitable, humanity colonized most of the rocky planets and moons of the solar system. Amid a rising crime rate, the Intersolar System Police, ISSP, set up a legalized contract system in which registered bounty hunters, also referred to as cowboys, chase criminals and bring them in alive in return for a reward. The series' protagonists are bounty hunters working from the spaceship Bebop. The original crew are Spike Spiegel, an exiled former hitman of the criminal Red Dragon Syndicate, and Jet Black, a former ISSP officer. They are later joined by Faye Valentine, an amnesiac con artist, Edward, an eccentric child skilled in hacking, and Ein, a genetically engineered Pembroke Welsh corgi with human-like intelligence. Throughout the series, The team gets involved in disastrous mishaps, leaving them without money, while often confronting faces and events from their past. These include Jet's reasons for leaving the ISSP, and Faye's past as a young woman from Earth injured in an accident and cryogenically frozen to save her life. Cowboy Bebop still works so well because of the continually relatable story at the heart of its genre-bending 26-episode run. Its exploration of adult themes like loss anchors the crew's journey throughout the stars, making it a series we're happy to revisit even after all this time. 1. Fullmetal Alchemist, Brotherhood. Brothers Edward and Alphonse Elric are raised by their mother Tricia Elric in the remote village of Resembul in the country of Amestris. Their father Hohenheim, a noted and very gifted alchemist, abandoned his family while the boys were still young, and while in Tricia's care they began to show an affinity for alchemy and became curious about its secrets. However, when Tricia died of a lingering illness, they were cared for by their best friend Winry Rockbell and her grandmother Pinako. The boys traveled the world to advance their alchemic training under Izumi Curtis. Upon returning home, the two decide to try to bring their mother back to life with alchemy. However, human transmutation is taboo, as it is impossible to do so properly. In the failed transmutation, AL's body is completely obliterated, and Ed loses his left leg. In a last attempt to keep his brother alive, Ed sacrifices his right arm to bring AL's soul back and binds it to a nearby suit of armor. After Edward receives automale prosthetics from Winry and Pinako, the brothers decide to burn their childhood home down, symbolizing their determination and decision of no turning back, and head to the capital city to become government-sanctioned state alchemists. After passing the exam, Edward is dubbed the Fullmetal Alchemist by the state military, and the brothers begin their quest to regain their full bodies back through the fabled Philosopher's Stone under the direction of Colonel Roy Mustang. Along the way, they discover a deep government conspiracy to hide the true nature of the Philosopher's Stone that involves the homunculi, the alchemists of the neighboring nation of Shing, the scarred man from the war-torn nation of Ishval, and their own father's past. Fullmetal Alchemist, Brotherhood also knows when to lay it all bare in unforgettable moments that will leave you standing in front of your TV cheering for the Elric brothers.